Good afternoon. My name is Titus. In today's episode of Interviews in the Roman Republic, we will be joined by Hilda, a Roman slave. She is going to share with us today what a day in the life of a Roman slave is like in the first century BC. Welcome, Hilda. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm 25 years old. I was born a domestic slave and I've lived in Rome my entire life. I am actually one of over 100 slaves belonging to a very wealthy master.
I see. Describe for us how your typical day begins.
Well, unlike some slaves, I sleep on a heap of straw with a blanket located in the kitchen of the home. I start my day before sunrise and usually begin by firing up the hippocaust if the weather is cold. Now, you probably don't know what that is, so I can share a picture with you right now. This is what a typical hippocaust looks like. It's used to warm up the rest of the house. So I would start a fire under here, and there are different ducts that run throughout the whole house, and heat rises from the fire, and therefore heating the rest of the house. So usually, when the weather's cold, this is how I start my day.
Okay, can you describe for us some of the common tasks you perform?
So I'm primarily a cook, therefore I specialize in transforming dirty, raw food into cooked food ready to be served in the dining room. I, along with many other slaves, provide dinner time theater entertainment for our guests. This includes singing, playing music, playing instruments, reciting verse, dancing, and acrobatics. I mostly cook over a burning stove in an ill-lit kitchen filled with smoke, blood, and food remains, so definitely not the best condition. I also periodically clean a table with dirty dishes and clean the floor of trash. And when I'm not cooking, I often take care of my master's children. I'm cleaning other parts of the house or tend to the gardens. So here is a picture of the gardens. I typically weed, water, and just keep them looking nice. Also, here is a picture of a common dinner time party that my master would hold. And like I mentioned, us slaves are responsible for the food and keeping it clean and also entertaining the guests during these parties.
And when and what do you usually eat?
So on the average day, I'm only allowed the leftovers from these meals. So taking what guests leave behind after eating and filling their napkins. This is what a typical meal would look like, but this is what is presented to our guests. So I would get leftovers of this type of stuff, which as you can see, there's different meats and different cereals, grains, and fruits.
I see. This seems like a very dirty job. How will you describe your personal hygiene?
So not all slaves have this luxury, but I'm occasionally allowed to attend the Roman baths. These baths, though I'm not in the same portion as the Roman wealthy and elites, they're very nice, and they feature hot baths, cold baths, and steam rooms, which here is an image of the baths from last week. This is the main part of the bath, but as you can see, off on the sides are different rooms, and like I said, these feature warm steam rooms and cold baths and other changing rooms and areas like that.
Oh, okay. What do you do in your free time?
So most often, I and other slaves in the house, we sing and we dance with a variety of musical instruments and also engage in practicing patting juba, which you probably don't know what that is, but it's a clapping of the hands in a highly complex rhythm and fashion. We also can attend, in our designated sections, of course, select Roman games, such as gladiatorial battles between both humans and animals. We also attend famous naval recreations, chariot races, and other events. So this is an image from a gladiator battle I was at last week. There's many people here, as you can see, but us slaves had our own designated sections, and we're just like mixed in with the common attendees here.
I see. Can you describe for us your typical technology you would use in your work or leisure?
I definitely benefit from the shelter my master's home provides. I also feel the impact of the 12 tables with respect to law. This was the first law put into effect, and there's laws like if a slave has committed theft or done damage with his master's knowledge, action for its damage is in the slave's name. So laws like that I definitely feel the effect of. In addition, there's aqueducts, which I definitely use on a daily basis, both to tend to the gardens, clean, and prepare food. Now here's an image of aqueducts, which carry water to my master's home, but also to the baths. And I, like I said, would use this water to either bathe at the baths or to prepare food or just generally clean the house. Here's an image of the 12 tables, which, like I said, was a very impactful law that has been put into place recently.
What other types of daily hardship do you experience?
Under Roman law, enslaved people have no personal rights and are regarded as the property of their masters. We have no legal or social standing at all. Now, thankfully, my master looks after me well, but some slaves do face brutal physical punishment, psychological abuse, and endless hours of hard labor without compensation.
Yes, that must be difficult. My final question is, what is the most memorable historic event you have lived through?
So the most memorable historical event I've lived through would probably be the Third Servile War, also called the Gladiator War. This revolt began with the escape of around 70 gladiators from a gladiator school in Capua. They defeated a small Roman force that was sent to stop them, and not only did they defeat this one small Roman force, but within 2 years they've been joined by, rumor has it, over 120,000 men, women, and children. This army of slaves roamed across Italia, raiding estates and towns until Marcus Crassus destroyed the army a few years later. Now here's an image of, you can see the slaves here battling against an army sent to stop them. Now, like I said, they're a very powerful force and roamed for around 2 years.
That would definitely be memorable. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Marcus Crassus was one of the members of the first triumvirate, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
Wonderful. Well, Hoda, thank you so much for your time on interviews in the Roman Republic.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Now, on the next episode, we will be moving on to the next guest, who is like Marcus Crassus, happens to be a member of the first triumvirate, but a little more cocky.
Good afternoon. My name is Camila, and in today's episode of Interviews in the Roman Republic, we will be joined by the one and only Julius Caesar. He's going to share with us what a day in the life of a member of the Roman triumvirate is like. All right. Good morning, Caesar. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. So first, could you explain to us an average day in your life, starting with how you begin your morning?
Yeah, so I usually wake up at 5 in the morning at the break of dawn to make the most out of my day, and finish any work and business before sundown. I get dressed and eat breakfast, which consists of just water and sometimes bread. Then I'm out the door and ready to start my day.
Oh, okay. And I know you have a big home, so how's that in the morning?
Yes, of course, I have a very large home, big, full gold. My family consists of female family members, young male family members, servants, my employees, and my slaves. Every morning before I leave, I check on them and see how they're doing. I check on their health of the young males, the happiness of the family, and of course, the royal bank accounts.
Oh, okay. I see. And you mentioned getting dressed. What is your typical day's attire like?
So I most often wear togas. They are very nice, but I have to admit they are very heavy and cumbersome, as they are made up of 9 feet of wool, white wool. I wear them for ceremonial occasions and simple public display. Usually over a tunic at home, I also wear a tunic, usually an expensive one decorated with stripes. I also have imperial togas, including an all purple toga embroidered with gold thread. Sometimes I wear armor, but only when I'm attending military campaigns or in military parades. And these are the togas and my outfits I'm wearing.
Oh, okay. And what is work life like for you and other members of the triumvirate?
So I am a very capable man. I head to the Senate office at around 6:30, 7 to meet with the advisor and go over imperial business. We talk about taxes, building projects, and my conquest of gold. After a meeting with the advisor, as part of the Senate's, we have a meeting with the government at around 10 and go over some important business. Depending on the agenda for the day, I could be in the Senate House all day in a discussion or in a debate. I usually try to leave at around 1, maybe 2. And this is my work. This is the Senate House where I do my job.
Oh, okay. That's a very busy schedule. So what are some activities you do if I guess you have free time at any point?
Like most members of the Roman elite and triumvirate, after I'm done with all my business work, I enjoy watching plays at the theater. The theater.
Oh, okay.
I enjoy watching races at the Circus Maximus and sometimes going to the Coliseum. I sometimes enjoy playing tennis, but with our hands instead of a racket and hard paddle, which is often compared with a rugby. After I'm done with all my leisure activities, I enjoy going to the bathhouse. I go to the bathhouse daily as it is the only time of my day where I can get clean, as well as socialize and relax and have a good time.
Oh, cool.
This is a bathhouse that I'll be socializing in.
Oh, okay. That looks very nice.
Relaxing.
Yep. And I noticed you don't really eat breakfast or lunch. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I don't really eat breakfast or lunch. I usually just eat something light. Supper is where most of my nutrients come from, as we have a big feast. For lunch, I would get a quick snack to eat. My go-to would be some dried fish or meat. After I'm done getting clean at the bathhouse and with my leisure activity, I would head back to the Senate House and meet with the advisor again and make sure to quickly go over everything that we might have missed or forgot to mention. These are the dried meats that I'd be snacking on.
Oh, okay. That sounds very elaborate. Now, my final question is, what time do you usually go to bed? As you must be tired from such a full day.
Yeah, my days are very elaborate. I go to bed at around 8 p.m. as I usually don't stay up late since I have to wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. And this is my little room, my bed I'll be sleeping in.
Very cool. Well, Caesar, thank you so much for joining us and for your time here on the Roman Republic, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.